My name's Birju Galaiya. I'm an international student from Kenya, and I've come to study at the University of Sheffield. I'm currently in my final year of the B.Eng Mechanical Engineering. Currently, I'm a Tier 4 student, so I'll be switching to the Tier 2 visa, which I got a role with KPMG, which is an accountancy firm. Well, I've done a whole range of stuff, exposing me to different people, meeting new people. For example, I'm part of the Hindu Society where I was in the committee as well as a male sports secretary in my second year, and that gave me the skills and quite enjoyed organizing different sporting events, such as the national sports competition, which was first time held in Sheffield by us. The challenges you faced, especially whilst balancing your studying, which is your main core of it, but also communicating with people, organizing events. Other than that, I've done quite a few activities. I did some volunteering, yeah, because I think giving back to the community is as important as well. I volunteered at Sheffield United Football Academy with students who we taught them about football as well, but also social problems such as drug awareness and nutrition, which is quite important, especially at that age. I think the work experience helped me in understanding what I really like and what I really don't like. Yeah. For example, after my first year, I undertook few internships, a month each in Kenya, where got a chance to see how I applied my engineering knowledge into different tasks. In my second year, after my second year, I got a summer internship at Aguena Digital, which is a small company in London, where I was mainly designing and redesigning iteratively the vending machine that they were bringing onto the market. That was quite important to see you meet the customer specifications whilst also ensuring that the costs of it and it was a viable solution. Well, at the first I thought it was impossible, but through research and understanding, I thought that it is difficult. There's no doubt about it, but it's not impossible. You just need to take the right steps to ensuring it. So there are two sides of it: the application process and what you or for example what I bring to KPMG, which is the firm I'm going to be working for. So understanding that being an international student, you have certain restrictions, such as the company has to sponsor you, and there's a registered list online which you can access and see which companies. One crucial thing is you send in your application as early as possible. Yeah. So you're early into the system and you have a greater chance. And in terms of the skills that I bring into, for example, KPMG would be the skills that I've developed through my 3 years at university. Yeah. The main skills include the technical knowledge from your degree, what you've learned, all your modules, and ensuring that you've achieved a 2-1 or a 1-1 really benefits you as employers know that you're capable. Other than that, other skills such as communication and teamwork especially is quite important. And having done the global engineering challenge and engineering you hired, during that week you feel like, why are you doing this? But when you're actually applying for jobs and going through the interview phases, it gives you something you can talk about. For example, the project that we did, the challenges we faced, and how we overcame them. I think what employers are looking for, it's more of the critical reasoning. You don't have to be right or wrong, but how you logically step your decisions on and responsibility you take. Finally, I'd like to say, like, for example, the online tests and interviews, you really need to practice to them. It sounds silly, you stand in front of a mirror and ask yourself questions and you're answering yourself, but in that you're becoming more confident in what you're saying. When you're actually there, you're more calmed down, you're not as nervous, and you know the answers. Yes, I did actually. So when understanding how me being an international student affects my graduate role, that was quite important to talk to someone, and they were always available in a day or two notice. They talked me through the whole process. The key thing is being you understand what situation you are in and what are your options, rather than not knowing anything, because then that obviously becomes much more difficult. In terms of my CV, they checked through the CV, and it was side by side, so you're inputting, they're inputting, and like that you personalize your CV to your actual job that you're applying to and your own personality, because all companies don't want the same kind of people, they want a wide variety. Maybe you're the one that has a particular personality that the company would want to mix with other personalities. Application questions like why this company, why you can write it about you can write it by yourself, but the careers advisors help you go through that to see if there's any grammatical errors, anything you're missing out. So I found them quite effectful, because the skills for work, for example, forced you to actually go out there and do something for, I think, minimum of 50 hours, if I'm not wrong. As soon as you get into it, you see that education and the actual thing, it's quite different. The actual work, it's quite different, and there's different challenges in each, and gives you more exposure, and more importantly gives you something to talk about, and your skills are generally developing. The e-mentoring, in fact, was the first time being introduced this year. My mentor was alumni of the University of Sheffield. He was in Interfleet Technologies, which is a rail company that I was quite interested in the railway industry, and he was staying in Sheffield, so it was a good opportunity to sit with him, talk to him about what he was at Sheffield, what he studied, what modules, the similarity in our studying, and how he's put all that into the industry, what's driving the industry. That's quite important in any job you apply. What's the current situation, what's the outlook. Everyone can go onto the company's website and read about the news and stuff, but getting the first hand experience of someone in there gives you an opportunity. Whilst doing my application, once I started, I thought of different sections. So for example, the energy sector, I write down the company's names and apply to them at the same time, because they probably have the similar type of questions.
Good idea.
It's much more easier, and at the same time, when you're researching about the industry, you're researching for all other firms as well. You know the differences between them, and the applications process, although it takes time. I sacrificed a lot of my time, especially in third year, not being able to do as many activities as possible. For engineering, I reached the final stages, for example, Network Rail and also Bosch kind of few companies, but through the practice of reaching different stages, I managed to reach the final stage of KPMG, and they offered me a role. The partner interview, he had done a degree in geography, and I explained to him that I'm thinking of going into accountancy, and he talked me through that. That's fine, and it's quite interesting to see that they employ a wide range of people. As I said, it's more of understanding which industry, why that industry, why that company in that industry, why not the other companies in the industry, and why that specific role in the company. So making sure you've got perfect answers, not perfect, but as close to. Yes, the advice would be start early. You've got the whole summer, I think 3 or 4 months, to actually look into the various roles, understand yourself, saying what do you want to do. After 2 years, you should, or after 3 years if you're doing masters, you should have enough experience to say that, do I like this field, which field I'm interested. I think always keep up to date with current affairs, what's happening. For example, if you're applying to the railway industry, what's happening to it, what are the challenges facing. What I did on Microsoft Excel, you'd note down the company, the role, and the closing date of the applications, so you can also prioritize the ones that close early. You do that. And the good thing with the internet is there are different blogs and different forums where with the students in the same position like you, and you can discuss the application process in terms of the online tests they did, how difficult they were, what you need to consider. Applying with friends as well, so you understand, because if you're basically on your own and applying by your own self, you might be missing out. But if your friends are applying together as well, you can exchange ideas, and that gives you a better prospect. So what I'd advise is make sure your applications are early as possible. Don't apply to 40-50 firms. Select the selected few, but in those you give in, make sure is as perfect. Come to the career service, go to the students advice center, make use of all the resources which are available for free. Few firms may say they may not employ international students, but you need to make sure that they understand that you as a graduate who is studying in the University of Sheffield or any university in the UK are exempt from the labor market tests that they might tell you that you need to sit through, and you can apply to any firm which is registered under the tier 2 sponsors, which the career service or the students union would able to give you the list, and it's available online.
Yeah.
If there are any problems, you can always ask the career service or anyone else to help you with the process. One thing, don't give up. I'm sure you're gonna fail. I failed quite a bit in the start, but it's just getting into the practice, being confident and taking it one step at a time.